I was born in McAllen, Texas, so right on the border, and moved to Houston pretty young at 5, so most of my memories are in Houston. I did art all through high school and was mostly a source of passing time. I wasn't very interested in school. Art developed more or less just out of that space, and then in my late teenage years that got derailed from interest in girls and drugs, and that was off and on as I went into a lot of different kind of menial jobs, fast food and different things like that weren't very gratifying, and kind of meandered along to find a path and maybe an education route I wanted to take for college. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and that was kind of spinning my wheels for years, thinking about going this direction and then this direction, getting interested in other subjects but feeling like they wouldn't be lucrative, and always to a degree being stifled by that pressure of, well, am I going to make money with it, or is it going to make me happy, etc. And I think that, combined with working jobs I didn't like, sapped me a lot of creative energy I had on the side, and exacerbated my interest in drugs and escape type activities. And then that, over the course of however many years, escalated to heroin, and that was at 22. And at this point, doing art here and there, but mostly not really doing it. And if I did, any focus or drive was very muddied by just pretty hedonistic behavior. And that went on for 3 years, ranged in severity from different points of my life. And in 2012, I finally got clean for good. I'd gotten clean before, but it didn't last. And I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly what clicked. It was something along the lines of just really feeling like I wanted to experience something else, and feeling very trapped and not being able to go anywhere, never having money. Getting clean led to, a lot of uncomfortable situations where you have to be kind of introspective and figure out what drives a lot of the needs for things like that. And there was definitely some stuff from my childhood and like family stuff from when I was younger, but focused on myself for several years. And a big part of what needed to happen to keep me sober was to focus on something that I couldn't really do if I wasn't sober. And after the first year of staying intensively with the program and recovery and things like that, I started getting much more serious about art. And that started with buying a tablet and having something that I could take with me all the time and experiment with pretty quickly. I was very used to drawing analog and having something where, using colored pencils or any kind of other permanent medium, if you take a chance and experiment, there's a possibility you might ruin the piece. And that can be true for some things anyway, period. But one of the really liberating and freeing things about transferring to a digital medium was the fact that I could experiment and take more risks with my work and learn more that way. And I saw a productivity and growth in my art excel at a faster rate than I'd ever seen before, coupled with the fact that I just got more serious about how I was using my free time, and waited tables for the next, 4 years. I was doing art and not getting quite the traction I'd hoped for with it. And when I started doing murals in 2014, that's when everything kind of started to change. And a lot of that being just because of the fact that you make an advertisement for yourself the moment you do a mural, whether it's for a client or for yourself. It's a lot easier for people to find you, as opposed to, if they're not looking for art, they might not ever discover your art, and social media obviously helps with that a lot. So I kind of came into the scene at the golden age of being able to do street art and things like that, which was really important for me. Depression and drug addiction and anxiety in my life was mostly fueled by working jobs I hated. So it was a two-part thing, that I was doing this and realizing it was kind of what was going to helped change that for me. And the focus of a lot of my art throughout the years has actually been a reflection of drug addiction and animals going after things that they're fixated on, as a reflection of just a tendency to look at consumables and different status symbols and things like that in your life as things that are gonna gratify you, and ultimately realizing they kind of won't. So that's when I started, and that was 2014, in the spring of 2014, so it's been 5 years. And it started with, there's not a lot of opportunities to just spray paint. So I started asking different people I knew if I could paint at their business or whatever, and the way it would go is more or less I'll paint whatever I want, and I don't really charge you anything, or I charge you something cheap. And before I knew it, even though now I look back and am shocked that I got work at that stage, but I started getting more and more people interested in hiring me. It just snowballed from there. People spread word of mouth and got to know my work around the city, and then before I knew it, I was going to LA and going to New York and doing projects in Mongolia and everywhere in the world. Nowadays, my work is getting a little more intentionally reflective of some of my thoughts and feelings about our societal structure and things like that. I still don't want it to be too on the nose, but I've started to realize that I have a platform and that I could say something a little more meaningful than just aesthetic stuff, which is important to me too. I don't feel like art has to mean something, but I am realizing that there are things that I'd like to see change, and even if I'm only one person, I can still at least provide a platform for certain ideas that I think are important to exist.